Hi, this is Lisa from Pivot 2 Solutions. Today we are going to be discussing how to use the 5 main navigation tools in SmartView that will help you effectively maneuver through your data and perform quicker analysis. Your navigation tools can be found on the top of your Planning Ad Hoc ribbon, which is available after you connect to your SmartView connection. The 5 buttons we will walk through today will be the Zoom In, Zoom Out, Pivot, Keep Only, and Remove Only, which are on the left side of your Planning Ad Hoc ribbon. Let's firstly have a look at the Zoom In function. This function will zoom in to display data for different levels of your hierarchy. You will have a default zoom level set up via the SmartView options. This will be rendered if you hit the main Zoom In button, or once you select a cell and left double click on it with your mouse. In this case, my default is set to next level, so it automatically takes me down to the children on my net profit parent. You will though still want the flexibility of zooming to different levels of your hierarchy depending on what you are analysing. If you select the cell you want to zoom in on and then go to the Zoom In button, you have 3 different options to choose from, and to access these you click on the small down arrow on the right side of the Zoom In button. The first option is next level, and given this is my default setting, I don't need to use that one. The second option is all levels, and you can see that if I use this, it now expands out to every level in the account hierarchy. This is really helpful if you want to quickly view your entire structure. To get back, I can use the Keep Only function. This will keep only the net profit member and remove everything else that I have on my sheet. The last option is bottom level, and if I use this, you can see that it goes directly to the lowest level of account in this net profit hierarchy, and there are no parents that are displayed, just the base level members. The next function is Zoom Out. So as you can imagine, this function allows me to zoom out to the next level up in my hierarchy. So for example, if I am looking at the bottom level member such as subscription revenue, I can use the Zoom Out function to zoom out one level and then again until I get to the desired level in the hierarchy. In this instance, I have gone all the way up to the top to net profit after tax. So this functionality will work on both the rows and the columns. So in this instance, I am going to use my mouse to double left click to zoom in one level on the year total member. This will get me to the next level down. I can then double click on my right mouse to zoom back out again. I can also use the same functionality using the Zoom In button on the ribbon. I am now going to demonstrate the pivot function. This function allows you to pivot the selected member from its current location to the opposing row or column. I have selected the year member in the column, and if I click Pivot, the year member will now be pivoted to the rows instead. This can make setting up different types of formats for analytics very simple, depending on how you need to view your data. I can then use Zoom Out to get back to my total year number and then quickly pivot that member back into the columns instead of rows. The next function is Keep Only, and this is useful if you have a set of data but are really just looking to analyse a certain member in the hierarchy. In this instance, I want to take a closer look at depreciation. I can select depreciation and then click Keep Only, and all other members will be removed apart from the item I want to focus my attention on. One thing to note is that at any time you make an error or hit the wrong function, you always have the ability to undo what you have just done. You can do this by using the Undo function, which is located on the SmartView ribbon. As discussed in our video on SmartView Advanced Options, you can set your Undo function to undo up to 100 times, which should allow you to undo even the biggest mistakes. So as you can see here, I'm now just moving around in the data using the navigation buttons available to me to get back to a preferred starting point. The Remove Only function allows you to just remove the item selected. So in this case, it removes the depreciation member. And as mentioned, I can easily undo this by clicking Undo on the SmartView ribbon. Another feature you can use on the pivot function is to move an item from the pointer to the point of view box. This is useful if you want to use a member to get to a certain data intersection, but you don't want this member or data to be shown on your worksheet. So you can see here, I can use the pivot function to pivot the entity member up to the columns and back again, but I can also use the pivot POV function available from the drop-down arrow on the pivot function to move that dimension over to the POV box. So I have moved by the entity and cost center dimensions over into the POV box, so they are still used in the defined intersection, but not on my sheet. If I want to quickly drag the member back onto the sheet, I can right-click the down arrow next to the member and drag it to the grid, placing it in the position I want. So that's it for today, a quick guide to using some of the basic navigation tools in SmartView to assist you to quickly and effectively analyse your data. If you have any further feedback or questions, please reach out to us via our website or YouTube channel, and we look forward to seeing you next time on our Pivot 2 tutorials.